Welcome back. Today we're going to assemble the distributor. I'll probably just set it on top of the engine just to see what it looks like when we're done here, but I'm not going to install it until the engine's back in the car. To help me in the process, I have a diagram here which gives me exactly what parts go in where. There's a whole list of the parts on the back, and this is from the Model A Ford Club of America. And if you're restoring a car, I highly recommend getting all of these. They've been very helpful to me. So let's tape this up here on the side so I can see it as I put the whole new distributor together. One thing that I pointed out, if you noticed in, I don't remember which video, I think it was the one on crating up the motor to ship it off to Antique Indian Repair, the body of it was rusted into the head. And they said they'd be able to take it all apart for me and send it back, which they didn't have to because in the process of taking off the flywheel, I knocked over the engine and busted this right off the head. So there's an $80 mistake. I got a new body and all the other parts inside of it were fine. So all I'm going to do is just assemble, just add the parts in there. I have the modern upper plate and lower plate. And so I've got the phony condenser that I'll put in there anyway. All right, so let's put it together. Got the shaft going in first, then our coupler at the bottom, then the pin that holds the coupler on, and I need a pair of pliers to push it in. Okay, so that little coupler's on there with the pin that I just put in there, and just a little bit of play, not bad, and looks good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put on a phony condenser. That's right, you could use a real one if you have a spare and beat it up and everything else. I chose to just buy a phony, a dummy as they call it, condenser. So we're going to put that on the back right there. There is our dummy. And it's even got solder on it to make it look like original. So that's kind of cool. All right. And then on the opposite side, actually I'll put that on next, or last, but there's a little plug that goes on right where the screw goes in for the original condenser to screw onto the lower plate. That's what that little plug's for. So I'm going to stick it on right now. Sure enough. So there's our little black plug right there. Okay. Then we have our oiler, our little tiny oiler right there. You got to make sure there's a little hole in here for the oil to go down the shaft. You got to make sure that that hole is sitting up so that the oil will drip down. And it is. So there's our oiler. Next up is the lower plate. The lower plate, as you can see, this is where the condenser used to screw in there. They give you a little fiber washer and the screw in the nut to make it look authentic if you take the plug off, but the plug covers it up, so it really doesn't matter. And then that's where the cable connects and goes up to the dash to the switch. So we're going to put that in next, and that goes just like that. And we put on our two screws that hold the lower plate into place. Okay, so there's our lower plate, wireless lower plate in place. There is no wire going between the lower plate and the upper plate. The electricity will transfer through this plate right here because the upper plate has this brass or copper piece right here that rides on it. and that's how you make connections. So there is no wire that goes from top to bottom, which is kind of nice, and the condenser is on the top plate. So that's easy to put on. We need our spring first. There we go, finally. Kind of hard to figure out the holes and which way it goes. So there you go. The upper plate is on. And now we have our cam with our lobes right there. That goes on next. And I'm not going to tighten it down all the way because I got to make the adjustments later. And it may be okay anyway because this was adjusted okay when I had the engine running. So I may not have to do much adjusting there. So there you go. There's a distributor all put back together, ready for installation. Feels good. Now we're going to put the distributor top onto it. Okay, so we got the clips on, we got the cam on, the shaft, everything looking pretty good here. Let's put the body on and the rotor and the cap. There's the body. There's the rotor. And there's the cap. So there you go. There's our distributor. Let's go put it on the motor and see what it looks like. Okay, so there's a little nut here that holds this in place once you get in. And it goes like this. There we go. It's got the distributor on. The shaft is on the workbench. It goes down to the oil gear here. And I'm not going to put this on until the engine is in the car. And so that's as good as it's going to get right now. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to be notified when new videos are published as we restore this 1934 four-door, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.